Before we get out of here, we have to talk about the returns of Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson to the basketball court for this season. But as I alluded to before we went to break, I don't know if Danny loves the game of basketball anymore. And I know, first of all, you're probably like, what is this guy talking about?
I'm wondering where this is coming from. I'm waiting to hear his explanation because it's got to be a good one.
So, in this 2021-2022 NBA season, a number of players have picked up technicals. Joel Embiid has 9. Carmelo Anthony has 9. Evil Danny Green, also known as Dylan Brooks, has 8. You have 0. Where's the passion? Where is the love for the game, DG?
I think I've gotten a better relationship and understanding with the referees and knowing that they're not going to change the calls. They also have I think the year that I got the most texts was in Toronto, and I think a lot of them were just it was like wildly how they were calling technicals out of emotion. And now they kind of changed that rule to where you can show some emotion and some of the rest. Before, it was like any type of reaction, they were giving you technical fouls. So I was trying to, what is it? You try to, when you try to get them back. Not reason. You try to send them to the league and try to dispute them. I try to dispute them. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah,
Try to dispute a lot of those technicals. I don't think I got any of them back. So, my thing is never give money back to anybody, especially the league, if you don't have to. Don't try to limit your fines, suspensions. And, I have been passionate. They have given me benefit out. I've known the referees a long time now. They respect me as a veteran. And so now when I do have some reactions, I can talk to them. They talk to me, and they're not quick to give me a technical foul, unless it's deservingly so. I remember one time, we were trying to, before they changed the rule, the pump fake, try to jump into people. I wouldn't get foul. I would try to get a technical because it's like, I deserve that foul, or you're going to give me a technical. We're going to stop the play somehow. But yes, this year I've been out some. I had some hamstring issues. I had COVID issues. So I've had a couple games out, which has helped me kind of just assess from a different perspective, which also allows me less chance of getting technicals in those games, being frustrated. Yes. But yes, the passion is still there. Just not, I'm getting a little older, a little more mature, and also having better relationships with the referees who have had better jobs of talking to me as well.
Okay. We gotta ask Cliff. I want to start maybe next week. We could start playing some trivia, like you versus me, because I think I know some stuff. But I'll ask you a trivia question. I think you might know. You should know the answer, but maybe you don't.
Okay.
You know who led the league in technicals last year?
Dwight Howard.
That is correct. You want to take a guess at how many he got?
18.
19. Not bad.
Oh, I know the suspension is 16, correct? I think he got it right before the end of the year. So he would get a suspension at 16. And I think he got maybe 2 in the playoffs, 3 in the playoffs, I would assume. But I thought it was 2 in the playoffs because we did do 2 rounds. So that makes sense, about 3. Some of them are inadvertent with elbows. Some of them are just fouls and they give him technicals, or just him getting into somebody with 2 double fouls that give technicals for. But I knew Dwight was up there, like right under 20, but above 16.
Okay. As I was searching for it, Draymond Green's name was prevalent on the list throughout the years. With that being said, Draymond Green's teammate, Klay Thompson, coming back to the court reportedly by the end of the weekend. Danny, one of the things that I want to do this year, DG, is there's this phenomenon, shout out to Worldwide Wob, about you trending on Twitter. Now, I don't advise you to look up your name on Twitter after any game, because it's just toxic environment. But as your co-host and I guess part of your production crew, it's my job. I have to type in your name on Twitter, see if you're trending or not, and see what you might be trending for. So last week when we played the Golden State Warriors, there's a tweet from Joe Veray, NBA. Can we pull that one up?
Oh man, actually, it is kind of.
You want to read that one?
Danny Green going for that block on Poole probably just triggered a whole lot of emotions among the Warriors fan base. LMAO. Yes, he is correct. Because I did get I got a couple of little hate tweets, little hate mail. I wish your Achilles blows out. You should have went for the block. You cutting people out, you dirty player. these are clean blocks, man. I'm going up there and I'm making clean attempts on these plays. They call the foul, but to me, these are very fair up in the air plays. And a lot of them, I think that I'm catching cleanly, and I'm not trying to injure anybody. But yes, Klay being hurt since that time has been my fault. Back-to-back times he's been injured, regardless of when it happened, where it happened after that incident. Him missing 2 years is Danny Green's fault, according to the Warriors fans, and they all hate me for it.
Might as well just bring up the next one then.
At this point, it's on site with Danny Green. Warriors fans have had enough. Yep, that's pretty much the tweets and mail I've been getting since from that day, and said when Klay was hurt, of course. And yeah, I guess they didn't like the fact that Jordan Poole went down a little bit. I mean, he was in good spirits. He's a good fan about it. He's like, I didn't know you still gonna try to block it, man. I know you can still get up there like that, OG. And I was like, I don't, give up any easy free layups. So if I would have known, I probably would have tried to, dunk the ball a little bit harder. I was like, maybe, but just know I'm coming, man. So it was all fun and games. He's a good young, player, good young kid, up and coming, a lot of potential. He's going to be really good in this league for a while.
For sure. I think obviously unfortunate what happened with Klay. With that being said, I think all NBA fans are excited to see Klay come back to the league. It looks like he could be nearing here a couple weeks with
even
Christmas
NBA
right
players. Not just fans, players. We're all excited too. I mean, as much as I competed and hated playing against him because he lit us up so many times, but the league is not the same without him. That team is not the same without him, and just be able to play at that level. But to see him, as a player, as a human, to be able to come back to what he loves and his profession, and to be able to be healthy, I think everybody's excited for him. Not just the fans, but the players in this league as well.
Klay's coming back. Kyrie Irving's supposed to be coming back on Wednesday night. Which return is going to be more impactful? We're both excited for both. We're excited for both of them, but which one is more impactful?
That's a tough one to say, man. I'm interested. I'm excited just as a basketball fan for both those guys to play. I think the fans are to see how they do. More impactful. I think because how great Golden State is doing, it's hard. It's Klay's at a disadvantage. It was hard to go up from there. I mean, obviously you can play better and score better, but they have the best record in the league at this point. And, Brooklyn is a little bit behind. They're still number one in the East. They're both top teams in both their conferences. But I think Kyrie has a little more room of going up and, and doing better because they've had some rough, tough losses and some guys out. But yes, I think that Kyrie's impact will have to be a little more important to make them continue to climb or stay up at number one in the charts. And I think Golden State so far had everybody else. It's hard for Klay to,
be as impactful as Kyrie's return. I tend to agree with you just because my thought is that the Warriors are so good defensively that they can survive a bad night from Steph Curry because they are so good defensively and they have isolation scores in Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. When it comes to the Nets, I actually am not that impressed with them this season when it comes to them winning a title, because the power that they had last year, even though they were weak defensively, they were an offensive juggernaut. I mean, you guys just played against them. It's very hard to guard all three. You could sometimes guard two, but guarding all three, it feels almost impossible. It almost felt like when the Warriors had KD. You could maybe stop Steph and Klay, but you can't stop KD, or you can't stop all three. So when Kyrie comes, even though it's only going to be for road games, which doesn't make any sense, they become an offensive juggernaut again. And there's not many teams outside of maybe, in my belief, the Bucks, who can guard all three. Going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, I think that even without them, they've been an offensive juggernaut. They can outscore you. They have so many threats and many options. But yes, of course, with the third one. And I think this year, aren't they top 5 in defense? I thought they were like number 2 or something like that.
But I think a lot of that is just due to pace, because a lot
of Golden State's defense is due to pace as well. They're the best transition teams, best offensive teams in moving the ball and finding each other. And I think the fact that they picked up LaMarcus and Patty this year has made them
huge
offensive juggernaut. When they get Joe Harris back, and they said you got James and KD, and then now Kyrie on road games, they can outscore. They don't have to play defense. They can outscore you. So I as much as you're unimpressed, the way the talent and how the roster looks and what I've seen from those guys, even with guys being out, has shown me that they're going to be very tough to beat and very impressive if they figure it out.
Yeah, I do think they're a lot easier to guard and with the pace that they go at. I think you guys, I've seen you guys play very well against them, and that's that's part of where my belief is coming from. All right, when we come back next week, we're going to talk more about Ben Simmons and why I think the Sixers should hold on to him regardless of what's on the table. A little bit more about Tobias Harris, and I believe the football team in Danny's home market is going to the playoffs. Maybe we'll talk about that too. Is Inside the Green Room. Find us on Instagram, Inside Green Room, pretty easy, and on Twitter at Green Room Inside. I don't know who took our show name on Twitter, but we want it, but we're not paying you for it. See you guys next time.
Read, rate, subscribe, review.